Alright, welcome back to Echoes from the Temple. Let's get into it. So we've all heard the myths and thought, wow, the gods can be cruel, or damn, Zeus, why did you do that? So let's discuss what the purpose of the myths are and why they are important. Now, the first thing is that the myths serve as a method of stimulating questions and help to prevent intellectual laziness. Yes, that means they require interpretation. As I've stated in previous videos, and because they require interpretation, they engage us on an intellectual level as we seek the hidden meanings. The myths are employed by poets, philosophers, and those few who have been initiated into the mysteries. These individuals have been inspired or guided by the gods, and even the oracles of the gods often make use of the myths in giving responses. Now, the myths also imitate the gods within their various aspects, whether ineffable or effable, hidden or apparent, and within their wisdom or ignorance. The imitations seen in the myths extend to the goodness from the gods. As the gods bestow good upon all of us, they reveal the goodness of the intellectual realms solely to the wise, and as the myths assert the existence of the gods to all mankind, they only reveal their true nature to those who are capable of or has attained an elevated knowledge. Since the myths imitate the gods' activities and energies, it is by the telling of the myths throughout the world that the truth of the gods is given freely, only hidden in plain view. As to not evoke contempt within the unwise are those who are incapable of comprehending the deeper philosophical truths within. It urges those with an inclination to the philosophical to engage in the pursuit of wisdom. So why are the truths hidden in plain view? As my mentor once told me, if you were to give the world's knowledge to every individual equally, tomorrow there would still be those individuals who just don't care. There would be those individuals whose only concern was to watch the game, drink a beer, and live a mundane life. Because ultimately, this life is not for everyone. Finally, the myths containing unworthy acts are simply concealment of deeper truths. This includes thefts, family betrayals, adulteries, and so on. We should recognize these acts as apparent concealment, and the truth is veiled in esoteric silence. To gain insight into these acts, one must delve beneath the surface of the myth to grasp the hidden significance. There are also different types of myths, and these include theological, physical, animistic, which are related to the soul, material, and mixed concepts. Theological myths are myths that speculate on the nature of the gods and of their essences. An example of this is the story of Kronos devouring his children, which is symbolic of the cyclical nature of an intellectual god. The myth suggests that every intellect eventually returns to itself, just as Kronos consumed his offspring. Now, in respect to myths that pertain to the physical world, we can continue to use the myth of Kronos when we view Kronos as time. The idea of him devouring his children takes on a different meaning and symbolizes the cyclical nature of time and its relationship to the cosmos. The animistic myths are myths that contemplate the energies of the soul and its connection to the source of creation. These myths indicate the lasting connection between our soul and its origin or source. Then the material myths. which were employed by attributing the divine to physical elements, primarily by the Egyptians, who portrayed earth, humidity, and heat as divinities themselves. Wise men may contribute these elements to the gods. However, it would be the folly of madmen to label them as gods themselves. Finally, the mixed myths. These myths contain aspects of the others mentioned. This type of myth is exemplified in the story of Discord throwing the golden apple at a banquet of the gods. The myth goes on to show the harmonious interplay of the supermundane powers of the gods. The golden apple representing the world itself, composed of contrary natures, and thrown by Discord. The dispute among the goddesses for the apple represents the different gods contending for influence. And lastly, Paris, who represents a soul living in according to sense, chooses Aphrodite because he is unaware of the other powers involved. So I hope this has shed some light on the myths and helps others to further understand the purpose of the myths themselves. Please like, subscribe, and share this video. Be sure to hit the bell notification so you know when new videos are uploaded. And I want to thank you for joining me at Echoes from the Temple, and I'll see you in the next video.